I'm going to go on to my second story, which is about our favorite actor, Mr. Cory Booker. This guy's a piece of work. So, Ketanji Brown Jackson, for those of you who have been paying attention to the Supreme Court confirmation hearings, has been getting a lot of questions, obviously, about her background, whether or not she's qualified to be there, yada, yada. It's just a play. We've seen this play before. And all the congressmen and women and the senators, they're just actors. I feel like this is just theatrics. We already know that she's going to be confirmed. So this little play, this show that they're putting on, for me, I feel like this is just for ratings. I feel like it's ridiculous and it's not necessary. But Cory Booker, if there's one that will top all the actors, it is him. Now, regardless how you feel about Ketanji being confirmed or not, I brought this up before on my show. I think the fact that they keep saying, well, oh, to be the first Black woman, this is a monumental moment. I don't like that. I don't like when they use that identity politics as the reason why we should want this person in. I think you should look at their background. I think you should look up what happened with her and Lockheed Martin and the Black employees that were there and what happened to those employees and how she sided with Lockheed Martin over the employees. I think people really need to look into that. You know, I'm one to look for it because the other Black female that they recommended before her, Michelle, she was another one that spent her career backing the corporations instead of the people, instead of the Black employees that filed racial discrimination lawsuits. She ruled in favor of the corporations. But regardless of how you feel on that issue, that doesn't stop the theatrics. And I have a big problem with this. And in reference to the term monumental moment, I want to remind everybody, Barack Obama was also monumental. Kamala Harris was also a monumental moment. Clarence Thomas was a monumental moment. Where has that gotten us? So listen to this video with Cory Booker responding to Ketanji. If this is not a show like I have seen, somebody give this man an award. Here we go.
You got here how every Black woman in America who's gotten anywhere has done by being like Ginger Rogers said, I did everything Fred Astaire did, but backwards in heels. And I want to tell you, when I look at you, this is why I get emotional. I'm sorry, you're a person that is so much more than your race and gender. You're a Christian, you're a mom, you're an intellect, you love books. But for me, I'm sorry, it's hard for me not to look at you and not see my mom, not to see my cousins, one of them who had to come here and sit behind you. She had to have your back. I see my ancestors and yours. Nobody's going to steal the joy of that woman in the street or the calls that I'm getting or the texts. Nobody's going to steal that joy. You have earned this spot. You are worthy. You are a great American. That is the story of how you got to this desk. And so you faced insults here that were shocking to me. Well, actually not shocking. But you are here because of that kind of love. And nobody's taken this away from me. So you got 5 more folk to go through. 5 more of us. And then you can sit back and let us have all the debates. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to be a well-charted Senate floor because it's not going to stop. They're going to accuse you of this and that. Heck, in honor of your person who shares your birthday, you might be called a communist. But don't worry, my sister. Don't worry. God has got you. And how do I know that? Because you're here. And I know what it's taken for you to sit in that seat. Today, you're my star. You are my harbinger of hope. This country is getting better and better and better. And when that final vote happens and you ascend onto the highest court in the land, I'm going to rejoice. And I'm going to tell you right now, the greatest country in the world, the United States of America, will be better because of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Booker. We're going to take a 10-minute break.
Thank you.
And come back and have the last 5 senators ask their questions.
Okay. Let's break this down. Bit by bit, let's break this down. Somebody give Cory Booker an Academy Award. Go ahead and hand it to him now. We don't need any other nominees. Just give it to Cory Booker. Let's break down what he said in this video. Here we go. There's some problems with what he said in this video.
You got to hear how every Black woman in America who's gotten anywhere has done by being like Ginger Rogers said. I did everything Fred Astaire did, but backwards in heels. And I want to tell you, when I look at you, this is why I get emotional. I'm sorry, you're a person that is so much more than your race and gender. You're a Christian, you're a mom, you're intellect,
Now, he just told you she's a person that is so much more than her race and gender. But the first thing that he mentioned during this speech of his was her race and her gender. Right? Listen.
You got to hear how every Black woman in America who's gotten anywhere has done by being like Ginger Rogers said. I did everything Fred Astaire did, but backwards in heels. And I want to tell you, when I look at you, this is why I get emotional. I'm sorry, you're a person that is so much more than your race and gender. You're a Christian, you're a mom, you're intellect, you love books. But for me, I'm sorry, it's hard for me not to look at you and not see my mom, not to see my cousins, one of them who had to come here and sit behind you. She had to have your back.
He's going for the heartstrings here. It's hard to look at you and not see my mom, who had to come behind you, just like you did. Listen to it.
I see my ancestors and yours. Nobody's going to steal the joy of that woman in the street, or the calls that I'm getting, or the texts. Nobody's going to steal that joy.
He's making it about him. Cory Booker does this best, by the way. He always takes someone else's personal pain and finds a way to make it about him. Cory Booker is notorious for doing this. I'll carry on.
You have earned this spot. You are worthy. You are a great American. That is the story of how you got to this desk. And so you faced insults here that were shocking to me. Well, actually not shocking.
Okay, let me come into this part too. Considering some of the things that have been said to her, especially some of the things coming by Ted Cruz and other people as well, and he just told you, you've heard some things here that have been said about you that Cory feels is shocking to him. First, he said it's shocking, and then he said actually not shocking. Cory Booker knows how many Black people are on the Senate. Come on. Come on. He knows it's not shocking. But what I would want to say to Ketanji is, based on the way that they've already treated you, Why would you even want to go into that system? This is the thing. See, this is the problem with being the first one of anything. And I've mentioned this before. This is the problem with being the first woman. This is the problem with being the first Black person, the first Black man, the first Black woman to be president, to be vice president, to be whatever you go into, even in the workforce. People want to use that tone. People want to use that significance that you're the first and not really thinking about what you have to go through when you are the first, the criticism, the scrutiny that you get when you're the first. Now, again, I already told you how I feel about her. She's a neoliberal. I'm not down with that. She's backed corporations. I'm not down with that. But this is the problem when you are one of the first. Go back in.
But you are here because of that kind of love. And nobody's taken this away from me. So you got five.
So again, he's making it about him. He just said, you are here because that kind of love. And nobody's taking that away from me. From him.
Five more folk to go through. Five more of us. And then you can sit back and let us have all the debates. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to be a well-charted Senate floor because it's not going to stop. They're going to accuse you of this and that. Heck, in honor of your person who shares your birthday, you might be called communist.
That problem right there. I have a problem with that. Two things. In honor of someone who shares your birthday, not relevant. Not relevant. Doesn't matter if you share a birthday with her. Leave that shit out. Sorry. Not relevant. The second part, when he said, hey, you might even be called a communist. What's wrong with that? I just wanted to show you how Cory Booker just in a sneaky little way just demonized that. Listen to it again.
Heck, in honor of your person who shares your birthday, you might be called a communist.
See? Democrats and Republicans despise communism, socialism. Cory Booker isn't any different. So he just, in his little sneaky, underhanded way, just told you that communism is bad. Without saying the words, communism is bad. Peter Ione said, I picked up on that right away. Yeah. I wonder if other people picked up on this. Because it's when I watched this video the first time, I was like, did he just say what I think he said? A sneaky little way. Because Cory Booker at the end of the day is still a capitalist. This is why I tell you there really isn't that much difference between Democrats and Republicans. Both of them still support capitalism and both of them are corporate. The parties are corporate. So Cory Bush, I keep wanting to call him Cory Bush. Cory Booker just said the quiet part out loud. Super Patriot said, sneaky man. That little underhanded way. Here we go.
But don't worry, my sister. Don't worry. God has got you.
Now we got to bring it back to religion. So now he's going on to say, God has got you. Why did I know, even before I watched this video, why did I know he would try some way, shape, or form to bring God into it? You know who else does that? Republicans do that. See, they're not that different.
And how do I know that? Because you're here. And I know what it's taken for you to sit in that seat.
How do I know that? Because you're here. Because you're here.
Today, you're my star. You are my harbinger of hope. This country is getting better and better and better. And when that final vote happens and you ascend onto the highest court in the land, I'm going to rejoice.
Man, stop. Like, he goes on. Okay, he just told you this country is getting better and better. For who? Who is the country really getting better for? If you're poor or working class, it's not getting better for you. Might be getting better for Corey. Not the majority. That's right, Solomoon. Better, question mark, exactly. What is he talking about? Dude, don't you know we still dealing with the pandemic? The gas prices have increased. Joe Biden just mentioned a food shortage. How's the country getting better? What?
And I'm going to tell you right now, the greatest country in the world, the United States of America.
Stop right there. I don't like that. I don't like that. Again, this is something that both Democrats and Republicans do. The United States of America, the greatest country in the world. This is why so many Americans in this country feel that the United States has to remain the greatest country in the world. That nobody else should be allowed to top us. And if you pay close attention to what China is doing, don't look too good for the US. And there are some people who have significant problems with that. President, military industrial complex. China's on its way, bud. This is a country that has pretty much eradicated homelessness. We have not done that here. Our government isn't even trying to do that here. It's on its way, bud. So I don't like when people use that talking point, that bragging talking point about the United States being the greatest country in the world. What if we're not the greatest country in the world? What if we're number 2 or number 3? Is that a bad thing? We don't feel so great right now, bud. We don't feel so great right now. This is one of the problems. This is why we tend to have this belief in this country that the United States has a right to tell other countries what they can and cannot do. That the United States has a right to police other countries. This is why we believe that. Because of what he just told you right there. And that talking point comes from Democrats and Republicans. Again, they're not different. Let's go back into his clown show.
We'll be better because of you. Thank you.
What? Hold on.
Thank you.
Listen to this.
Better
Hold on.
because of the greatest country in the world, the United States of America, will be better because of you.
We're really going that far? We're really going there? We're really going that far? So if she gets confirmed, which most likely she will, the whole country is going to be better? What? Didn't they say the same thing about Barack Obama? Oh, this is a big moment for the United States. The country's going to be so much better. Didn't work out that way. One person does not make the country better. Not in the United States. What makes the country better is for the people who are working class, poor, and middle class coming together, creating community, and helping each other. That's what makes the country better. Not who you put on the Supreme Court for identity politics. That is not what makes the country better. And I really want you to get this message out to younger people as well, because I've seen it all over LinkedIn and Facebook, and people are falling into identity politics with this. If the only reason you believe that she should be confirmed is because she's a Black woman, that's a problem. This is exactly what corporate media wants you to buy into. We should have learned this lesson already from Barack Obama. I'm sorry. We should know this game by now. Yet I'm seeing people been on this planet, been in this country longer than me, older than me, still falling for this. So I'm going to have to talk to the older generation too, apparently. Because what did we really get? Are we still going to have the homeless problem that we have in this country if she's confirmed? Yep. Are the conditions in Black communities going to improve because we got a Black woman on the Supreme Court? No. Hell, we had a Black president and those conditions did not improve. In fact, he implemented policies that made those conditions worse. Some of you, not all of you, but some of you in the Black community from the older generations, you got your houses and you moved on. After civil rights movement, you just accepted neoliberalism and passed that on to the younger Black people, and we've passed it on to other Black people, and you were fine. And you stopped challenging the conditions that MLK told you to challenge. You stopped challenging the conditions that You stopped challenging the conditions that Malcolm X told you to challenge. You stopped. You accepted the little they gave you and you moved on. And a whole generation of Black people were coming behind you. And we had no one to give us that same type of advice, that same type of encouragement to get out there and ask for more. What we had was a generation of Black neoliberals who told us to just fight for what we have, who told us to go to college so we can get better jobs, who taught us how to work in a corrupt corporate system. All of the fight was gone. And you passed it on to us. We should have still been fighting. We could have gotten so much more. But for some of you who are Black boomers, you got your houses, you embraced neoliberalism, you moved on, and anything that happened to my generation, you told us it was our fault and that we needed to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. You told us we need to learn how to save. You told us that we need to learn how to budget. You told us we need to go out and vote for Democrats, even though they weren't doing a damn thing to improve our community. So it appears I got to talk to you too. Because I don't want the Black generation coming behind me to follow that same corporate neoliberalism model. Neoliberalism, sorry. I'm pissed. Some of you stop fighting. There are some of you alive today that march with Dr. King, that march with Malcolm X, and you're silent. Not all of you, but some of you. Some of those same civil rights activists that march with Dr. King, you told us vote blue no matter who. And look at where we are now. So yes, I'm not happy with you. I'm pissed. We should have never stopped fighting. Look at where we could be now. I wonder, what on earth would MLK and Malcolm X say if they were alive today? If they were alive to see that Black people just stopped fighting. Someone mentioned Al Sharpton. How would MLK feel about Al Sharpton today? Some of you sold out. I want us to learn from civil rights leaders from the past. And I don't mean just learn the I had a dream speech. I want us to learn about the organizing and building community from the past. Because somewhere along the way, that stopped. We decided to embrace capitalism. MLK was anti-capitalist. How did we go from that to Black excellence, which is always linked to capitalism? We let Chevrolet, Cadillac, Nike, we let corporations co-opt our movement, turned it into a brand instead of actual organizing and action. And we watched it happen again with BLM. That's why capitalism can't be a part of it. You can never sell out to the corporations. Once they get a hold of your message and your idea, it's over. There is no movement. Sorry, guys, I was a little heated tonight. I was talking to someone about that earlier, and it just irks my nerve when I hear Cory Booker do this. It pisses me off. Truth Bearer said every minority and every people has its share of opportunists, profiteers, freeloaders, and escapists. Dr. King. Ilfart, is that your name? Ilfart 218. Sharpton was always selling the division strategy. MLK revealed we were living in a feudalism. That's why he had to be killed. Oh, gamer, thank you. It's fine, Sabby. I understand you have passion and I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you.